This last video is different from all the other videos on the DVD. So far, I've shared with you success stories from the state of South Carolina. Now I'd like to share with you an example of expansion. In Wichita, Kansas, we're partnering with Butler Community College to launch a program called Advanced Kansas. It's very much like the program in South Carolina, and we're now beginning to see the same kinds of success. Please enjoy the video from Advanced Kansas. Advanced Kansas is a wonderful program for bringing together people from all sectors of our society who are concerned about the community and are concerned about diversity.
Looking at it from a standpoint beyond just race and gender, but looking at diversity from the broadest sense, diversity of thoughts, ideas, perspectives, roles, functions, the diversity of being an elected official versus a non-elected official, Republican, Democrat, those kinds of things that sometimes get in the way of us solving our community challenges.
Butler prides itself on knowing a good thing when it sees one, and the attractiveness for us of Advanced Kansas is that it's an initiative, not just a program, but it's an initiative that causes those engaged with it to consider diversity in an entirely different light, personally, within the work setting and within the community setting.
Advanced Kansas really focuses on diversity, and not just the diversity that you can see in one another, how we're different, how we're the same visually, values, that sort of thing. It gets deeper than that. It gets into really where we come from and the perspectives that we bring and the value that those different perspectives can bring to a workplace, to a community. So it's just different than the leadership training I thought it would be.
It was a nice reminder that diversity is much more than skin color and race and gender, but just the differences that we share among society. So it did broaden that definition, I think, for me, of diversity.
We all get into our own way of doing things, and if we're really never challenged to change, we don't. It works for us, so we're just going to keep doing it. But by attending a class like this, it makes you say, there's a whole different pool out there that I can benefit from and that our company could benefit from. How come we're not doing it?
What I've heard people say in this program, that it's been life-changing, that it really, they wish they had had it earlier. I heard a bank president who was in class 1 with me say that he was retiring from a bank, and he said, I only wish I had had this a little earlier. It just changes your way of thinking and approaching things. And I think for me as an individual, I'm better for it, not only in my professional relationships, but even in my personal relationships as well.
Long term, I think this could create a significant community of interest of people who are really tackling the challenges of diversity in our society. I think that over time, this group will build and build and build and become a network.
It's an amazing experience. I met people that I never thought that I would meet, people who are equally as passionate about helping, people who are passionate about diversity, even though that sounds kind of cliche. Just being passionate about doing the right thing and spreading the word and building that critical mass that Juan talks about.
We can't overlook the value to the organizations, because as we build critical masses of people who are involved with the Advanced Kansas initiative, I think it will make a huge difference in the workplace. And I think ultimately it will enable all of the businesses in our region, as well as the not-for-profits, to attract a brilliant pool of employees.
I think as a society, we need to understand differences between people and appreciate those, and understand that differences can be unifying rather than separating, and to look at someone and say, okay, I grew up in a small town, they grew up in a big city. That's not something maybe that we can see when we first meet someone, but it might be something that we can use to create value or add value to a situation. So to me, that is really a key, to find out how can we use our differences to make a stronger whole.
What we teach in the program is you got to have all the systems in place to ensure fairness and quality. But once you have that process in place and you've recruited this diverse talent and backgrounds, so what? Then what? How, if you're a company, at the end of the day, it's about business performance. So how do you now take this diverse talent and use it, leverage it to drive business performance? And at the end of the day, I do think that this program is just another tool in the toolkit to help people think that way.